Hi everybody, we're going to do some painting and it's going to be on the Quilt Storage Box. So I have drawn the design on. That would have come with your free pattern in the magazine. And you can see I've just drawn it on. It's very hard to see, but it's there. And I have laid it out like that, like pretty much flat. What I do have is my fabric paints. I have some paint brushes and I have this in front of me with the drawing on. So I've drawn it on so it's that way. It won't be exact because I've drawn it rough, but it'll be fine. So I've just been running around, so bear with me. I'll catch my breath. You're also going to need a palette, so I'll get one of them. It can be a plate or something, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. And we're going to start painting. Now these are fabric paints, like I said, so they don't need any fabric medium. If you still want to put fabric medium on, you can, but it's not essential. So I'm just going to grab some colours and take them out. So this is yellow. Might need a little bit more yellow. It's like a goldy yellow. And I'm gonna need a bit of brown. That's the dogs underneath, just FYI. They've got a bone. So a little bit of brown. And we're going to need a little bit of green. Yeah, let me just find it. Where are you? Green. Pink. I can see every colour except for the one I want, of course. Sea green. Blue and yellow. Oh no, there's a green. It's a bit sea greeny. That'll do. Oh, here. This one here is like an olive green. And it's called cyan in this one. And we're going to need a little bit of black, and I mean a little tiny bit, just a little. And we're going to also need probably a green, maybe a little bit of red. Okay. And I'm just going to get a towel. Just so you guys can see, I'm wiping as I go in between. All right, so first things first, I'm going to just get the colour off, and I'm going to start with the furthest away from me. So I'm going to work on these fellas here, which is the nuts, and I'm going to put some brown on and just working to the edge. And this does take a little time. And that's one. Oh, that's the dogs. And two. And while it's still a little wet, I'm going to grab a tiny bit of black and just put the black up there just to give it a bit of shape. Just work it around. It's a really tiny little bit, just along the top there. Grab some more brown and work on the next one. Now, if you decide that you don't want to do the leaves and gum nuts, you could put any design you like on this. You could applique on it, whatever you like. It's entirely up to you. I thought I'd do a little bit of painting. I've got these new paint sets in, which will be in a link, and you'll be able to go get yourself a set. They're really, really reasonably priced, like crazy reasonably priced, because I have no middleman with this one, and that is your bonus. Now, if it's not exactly perfect, don't stress, like it's no big deal. You're going to stitch around these, but first things first, we'll get them painted and dry. And then all I'm going to do when I finish is stitch around each line, and I'm going to do it all in one colour. So it'll probably be like a black. And I'll do this one first, this colour first, and then come back on the red. You can use a hairdryer to dry it off in between. I'm going to keep going just so that you guys can see the process. When it's completely dry, then we can stitch it out. So let's do these. Sort of gum nutty. If you want to paint the stem, you could do that as well. It's entirely up to you. That's the beauty of art. The end result is entirely up to you. So I'm just going to wash that out, and I'm going to come back with some red. And using a flat brush, I'm just going to go straight up and down and put some red in there. Might grab a bit of yellow just to make it a little bit brighter red. If I wanted to, I can come in with some thread, and that'll also give it a brighter look. Sorry about that, the dogs are deciding they're a bit excited. So I'm grabbing a bit of the red and the yellow together, and I'm just placing enough colour there just so I can see what I'm doing. And then, like I say, I can come back in with a red if I wanted to, or just keep going with a black thread. Either, nothing is wrong, and it is entirely up to you. You could stitch out someone's name and embroider on it. There goes another dog. Beauty from working from home. And one thing you'll notice is that I'm not adding water to my paint. If I add water to my paint, it's going to be really, really runny, and it's going to bleed everywhere. So by not adding water, has the ability to just to sit on top of the fabric and not bleed out. And the next one, a little bit of yellow. Okay, they look a bit chunky at the moment, but the thread will sort them out. Now I'm going to go to the leaf. Sorry. And I'm going to go to the leaves. So I've grabbed that cyan, which is like more like an olivey green. And just colouring the whole area. Just like that. Nice coverage. Move to the next one. Okay, I'm going to grab a bit of that yellow and I'm going to pop it in there on one side, just make it a little bit lighter. Doesn't have to be much. I'm just going to leave a slight line in between them where I'm going to stitch. Being acrylic, it doesn't take too long to dry, but like I say, you need to make sure it's 100% dry. So you can see I'm just putting a little bit of yellow in there. And I just got to grab that olive again. And then a little bit of black on the other side just to give off some shading. You might find that yours is a little bit different, which is okay. Like I say, every art piece becomes individual to that person. There's no right and wrong. A little bit of red in there. Okay. And that is pretty much painted. I mean, I could put in a brighter green or a little bit of gold if I wanted to, and that can really make that yellow look, you know, just a little bit in here, just to change it up a little. Either, it's all okay. Once you've got it on, now you need to dry it completely. If you wanted to do the black lines in the paint, you will need to have your black paint wet, and I mean really wet, and then have a very small amount on your brush. And at the tip of your brush, just run the line like that, but you'll see it'll bleed because there's a lot of water in it. So less is more. But like I said, you can always stitch them in. Okay, so I can stitch a thicker leaf, stem I should say, and I can do the same here on these. What I've found over the years is I don't let little things like a bit of bleeding on that worry you. It's just because there was too much water. Just make it work. Like I say, you can quite easily get in there and put a larger stem. Either is fine. And you're wanting to do those fine lines down the center here. You can do them with paint, or you can come in and do them with the thread, or you can do it with both. Nothing stopping you. So that is that, ready and raring to go. And all we have to do now is wait for it to dry and thread stitch it. So I'm going to pause and I'll be back when it's dry. Okay, we're almost ready to get sewing. I've got the machine set up for free motion quilting with the foot on, and I have the black thread in top, and I have the feed dogs down obviously, and my tension would be adjusted if I'm a sit down machine. This is my jack, so I don't need to adjust the tension on this one so much. And I'm going to get my chair and pull myself in for a nice comfy ride of free motion quilting. Okay, here we go. Pop my gloves on. Need my eyeballs. And foot in the down position. I am going to bring my bobbin up and grab onto it. And down. And then hold on to that. And I've got to make sure my machine's not going too fast. I'm just going to do a couple of stitches and move my needle up, so I'm going to grab onto that again. Okay, a couple of stitches. Oops, a daisy, cut off. Let's do it again. And let's follow these around. And let's trim off that. And here we go. Just go around the shape to start with. And then do a couple of lines out for the gum nuts. And you can see my thread's about to shred. It has. I'll just rethread it. Bear with me. Okay, and go back up that line again, which is the stem. Don't stress if you're not exact. And then back down to the next one. And while I'm here, I'm going to do the one underneath it. They sort of look like little spider legs. Oh, and we're broken again, so I will fix that. Okay. I think my daughter has been using my machine, and I think my needle might be a little bit blunt, which is shredding the thread a little. Anywho, we'll just keep going, persevere. Go a little bit slower and she might not shred so much. We'll go back up to where we came from. And I'm going to go up the other side of that when I get there. And then I'm going to come back down and I'm going to come over here and do this one next to it. And back up. Follow that line. Don't stress if it's not, oh, there it goes again. Don't stress if it's not exact, like you're not exactly on that line. That's okay too. I'm just going to rethread this. Be right back. Okay, I've changed the needle this time, so hopefully that's better. Oh, got the needle in the wrong position. Hang on. Up we go. Okay, here we go up to the other one. And I'm going down to these bottom ones first. And then I'm going to trace back up. Oops, it goes. Doesn't like that much, does it? That noise in the background is my dog snorting. Just FYI, if you're wondering what it is. Come on. And there you go. There we are. And then I'm just going to grab that thread. And come down and do these two. Now when you stitch through paint, it will make a funny tuck noise. That's normal. And then follow this one back up. It's done it again, so I'll pause. Okay, we are back to the last one. I'm going to go back up. Hopefully it doesn't snap this time. There it goes again. Doesn't like going backwards. That's okay. And finish it there and go over to the other ones. Don't have to go all the way back up. That is plenty. I'll just rethread it and we'll go and do the leaves. All right, leaves are the same deal. So you would start at the top and work your way down, or you can start at the bottom and work your way down, whichever suits. Either. It could be this machine doesn't like sewing on paint or this thread. I'm going to go just a little bit outside the paint until I come to that leaf. Yeah, it does it again on the backwards swing. So I'm thinking it just doesn't like going backwards, so I'll try and not go backwards. But, you know, free motion is free motion. Means that every direction works. If it keeps it up, I'm going to go onto another machine, but it should get me through. I will rethread this baby. It seems to be shredding. Could be the type of thread I've got. I do have a cheap thread on it, so I normally use like a Resant or something like that. That tends to work really well, but at the moment I seem to have a cheapy one on and he's not happy, so we'll just keep doing it. Just shows you that you're not the only one. It does happen to all of us and sometimes you just got to persevere. These little needle threaders, if you can't work out your needle threader, or if you've got an industrial or a long arm, these are amazing. They just go straight through, no arguments. Okay, back where I was. And see what happens. A little bit of the bobbins coming up. That's okay. Let's see what happens. Oh, there it goes. Does not like that backswing. I'll pause and come back. Okie dokie. So I'm just cutting off and moving over to the next one because this one's not connected, so I need to cut off. And I'll just pull up that bobbin, hang on to him. Couple of stitches just to hold it. I am going to do those few stems sticking out there before I get to the leaf. And then we're going to do that last leaf. Hopefully the thread holds out for me. And that's it. So you can cut off. And I'll adjust the camera so you can see what's going on here. And now I have both things quilted and it is ready to use. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I know I did break a few threads here and there, but it just shows you how human I am, and enjoy painting your next project. Thanks, guys.